Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about questions on cubes. That is, if you're given three representations of the cube, like these here, and you're asked what is opposite to a given face of the cube. Now, if you have a good visualization, 3D visualization, you can do these questions easily. But if you're like me, I have a pathetic 3D visualization, then you can use my technique. This we've developed, and this will help you solve the questions in 5 seconds flat. Now let's look at some actual exam questions. So in this, the question says that the three views of the cube are the following. And what is the letter opposite to A? First, I'll tell you the final answer, the shortcut technique. So in this case, all you need to check is there'll be two cubes which will not have A in them. So this one has A, leave this. You have these two cubes which do not have A. Now if these two cubes satisfy two particular conditions. One is they have one symbol common, and the second one is also if they have only one symbol common. That is, in this case, like you can see, H is common between these two and there is no other symbol which is common. So if you have only one symbol common and then A is not contained in these two cubes, then the letter opposite to A is simply the common letter, in this case H. This is your answer and you are done. This is all you need to do. Now obviously you're wondering what I just did and how I got this answer. So I'll show you the basic technique. Now what you need to do is, you need to understand one thing. If in a particular cube I have A given, then K and B cannot be opposite to A because they are visible in this cube to me. So this means opposite to A will be the back face and K and B cannot be opposite. So whenever I need to find the opposite of a particular face, what you would need is either two views in which that one alphabet or one symbol is common. So A is not common in any two cubes. So let's take something which is. So in this case, K is common between this cube and this cube. So if I just write down the alphabets that are there given to me are A, B, K, M, H and P. Now we are trying to find out what is opposite to K. A cannot be opposite to K because A is there in this view. Okay, it cannot be A. B cannot be opposite to K again because it's adjoining K from this view. Now we take this. Obviously K cannot be opposite to itself. From here I know that M cannot be opposite to K. Again it's visible to me with K. And H is not opposite to K because it's visible again in this view. So I've eliminated all choices. So what is opposite to K is simply P. Now let me demonstrate it again for H. For H, I leave this out. I have two. This H is common between these two. So if I start looking here again, I don't know about A. Let me just leave this. So M cannot be opposite to H because it is visible here with H. So M cannot be opposite to H. K cannot be opposite to H for similar reasons because it's visible here. H obviously cannot be opposite to itself. Come here. P cannot be opposite to H. And B cannot be opposite to H. So what is opposite to H is A. Simply. And this is what I used to find out what is opposite to A. If I have two cubes which do not contain the alphabet or symbol which is being asked in the question, and there are the other two alphabets, the other two symbols here are different. So there is, if this also had something like K, then this technique would not work. If this is not the case, that is opposite to a particular face I'm trying to find out, and H is common between these two and the other two alphabets in these two views are different, then opposite to A will simply be H. Now let's look at this question. This is from CSAT 2013. It says a cube has 6 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and the three views are given. So what number possible can exist at A and B? This is what we are asked. Now what I told you in the previous segment, here I have 5. So let me just say that this is the cube. Let me just try to find out the letter, the number opposite to 5. If I were to try to find that out, I don't take this because this has 5. I take the other two cubes. Now it satisfies my two conditions. The first condition was that it should have something common. 1 is the common number. Also, the other two numbers are different. So this is 6 and 4 and this is 3 and 2. So these are unique numbers. There is no other commonality. The only one commonality is the number 1. So the number opposite to 5 will be simply number opposite to 5 is equal to 1. Now if you see the answer choices here, so obviously A and B are not opposite to 5. You can see that. And in all the answer choices, these three, you've been given 1, which we have found out that is opposite to 5. So these three cannot be the correct answer choices. And the correct answer choice is this, 2 and 3. Okay, let's look at some more questions for you to understand this technique even further. These are not CSAT questions. So this says, what is opposite to the 3 dots? So in this case, you can see it's very simple. Again, let me just write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the things. Now, in all, I need, for the previous technique, I need at least 2 cubes without the number 3. In this case, I don't have 2 cubes without the number 3. So let's just forget about this. Let's go by the long method. So I'm trying to find out opposite to 3. From this view, I know that 4 and 6 cannot be opposite to 3 because I can see them in this cube. So it's not 4, it's not 6. From this, I know it's not 1 and 4. 4 I've already crossed out. Opposite to 3 is not 1 because I can see them, so they are adjacent. I don't have 3 here, so let me leave this out. Let me go to this. With 3, I can see 1 and 2. 1 I've already struck out, so 2 cannot be opposite to 3. 3 obviously cannot be opposite to 3. So what I have left is 5. So the number opposite to 3 dots is 5 dots. So just by using elimination technique, you can solve the questions. Okay, in this they are asking me how many dots are on the face opposite to 4 dots. Now this is again slightly different. So in this case, let me just draw the cube. I have, this is 1 dot, this is 2 dots, and let me just put the number 5. This is 5 dots. Now here if you see, 5 remains here and the other 1 goes on the top. So you can understand that this cube, the second cube, is simply a rotation like this of the first cube. If I were to rotate this, what will I get? 5 will remain here. You need just very tiny little bit of visualization here. This much even I can do, so I'm sure you can also do. So 5 comes here. 1 would go on the top, if you see. So 1 would come here. So the number which is at the bottom will come to the front. So what was the bottom? Let us call that as B. That will come here. This much should be clear. Now if I see this representation, this one is here. So yes, this is correct. This 5 is here. So this is correct. Which means B is equal to simply 4 dots. That is this. Now B was the bottom. At that point of time, 2 was the top. So top was 2 dots. And the bottom was 4 dots. This would mean how many dots are on the face opposite to 4 dots is simply 2 dots is the answer. Okay, now it says what is opposite to the dot. What are the symbols that I have? Let me just put them down. Dot, this, circle, square and arrow and cross. Now you can use the technique that I told you right in the beginning. I have 2 cubes here which do not have the dot. Also, there is only one symbol common between these 2 cubes, which is the cross. Everything else is unique. So this means what is opposite to the dot is opposite to dot is cross. Simple, no calculation, nothing to be done. This is my answer. If you do want to solve it, so let us say I was doing this. Let me just do this. These are my symbols and let me try to find out what is opposite to x. So from these 2 views, square is not opposite. Okay, let me strike this off. Okay, this is x and this is what I'm striking out. So let me not use this, otherwise you may get confused. So this is not opposite to x. Then I have a triangle in this view, not because this is adjacent to x, so I strike out triangle. Here I come, the circle is also adjacent to x. Circle gets struck out. Arrow strike out. X itself cannot be opposite to X. So what is opposite to X is the dot. And what I was asking was, I was asked what is opposite to the dot? It is simply the symbol X.